So my mum asked me for an easy pasta recipe that my nephew could cook at university. And my friend down the road also asked me for a recipe that would be quite good for her daughters to cook. So hi Jack, hi Ruby, hi Izzy. So this is a quick recipe for, it's called Strozzapretti pesto rosso. Although technically Strozzapretti is the type of pasta and I'm actually using Fusilli, so call it what you want. It's a chicken pesto pasta dish. So these are the ingredients that you'll need to get ready first. So you'll need some pasta, because that will need to go on to cook first, because that's going to go in at the very end. You'll need some creme fraiche, up to you what type you use. I'm going with the 0% creme fraiche because I'm still on Slimming World. You've got red pesto. You could use green, but red works much better with this recipe. You'll need a little bit of oil or spray oil if you're following Slimming World. You'll need some chicken, diced. I'm using thigh, you can use breast. You can just this isn't a great recipe for fat, so make sure you do cut all the fat off because it won't taste very nice if you've got lots of fat on the chicken. And then vegetable wise, so you want a little bit of garlic cut up. You can leave this out, or you can even use a garlic paste if you don't want to use the garlic. You'll need some onions and red pepper. You can use any other type of vegetables that you can get hold of, so it doesn't have to be red peppers. You can use yellow, orange, you can use a normal onion, but because I put spring onion in at the end as well, then I use red onion when I'm starting off frying it because it just gives it a nicer flavour to combine them. So those are the ingredients you need. I'm also doing homemade focaccia, which is nearly finished proving, so that's going to go in the oven at this point as well, which I can show you how to make on a separate video if you want. It's very easy. So those are all the ingredients that you're going to need. So pause the video now and get them prepared, or if you're just watching it and you're going to cook it later, you can now pause it and write them down. Speak to you in a minute. Right, so we've popped the onion and the garlic into a pan, either with a little bit of oil or with some spray. I'm using spray, which is this, just to keep it nice and low fat, because I'm eating enough chocolate at the moment, so I really don't need to be putting extra fat in the food as well. So you're going to cook this on a really low temperature for probably about 5 to 10 minutes, because we don't want it to burn, we just want it to sweat down and be nice and translucent before we put the chicken in. I've also put the pasta on very low, just to cook it through. As soon as that's cooked, you just turn it off and leave it in the hot water, because we'll drain it and pop it in with the sauce later. Okay, my chicken's now completely cooked and I've drained my pasta ready, so this is the final part. So now you're going to add in any other vegetables you're using, so I'm using red peppers. And you want to keep the crunch on them, so I'm not putting them in until the very end when I'm kind of preparing everything for dishing up, because I don't want them to go soggy. So we're then going to, so what you're going to do, if you're only making this recipe for just one person, then you're going to want 2 teaspoons, heaped teaspoons of pesto per person. I'm making this for a whole family, so I'm going to use the whole jar. So the next stage is just to pop all of that in. Okay, so we've popped that in, and now we're just mixing it all through, just to make sure that all of the chicken gets coated in the nice pesto. Again, keep it on a nice low heat. You don't want to burn the pesto at this point. And then just mix it all in. Once you've done that, throw in your spring onions and mix them into the mixture as well. Right, now you want to turn it off the heat, because you don't want to add your creme fraiche, especially if you're using 0% creme fraiche or 0% Greek yogurt. You don't want to add that in while the heat is still on, because if you do, it's just going to curdle. So we're going to add that in now. So you're going to use pretty much the same amount of creme fraiche to the pesto that you was putting in. So if you can make it for one person, again, you're probably only going to want 2 or 3 spoons of the creme fraiche. I'm making it for a whole family, but we do like it quite pesto-y, so I probably won't use the whole of the creme fraiche. So I'm just going to mix all that through. You'll see there'll be quite a lot of oil gathering at the bottom. That's fine, because when you throw your pasta in over the top and mix your pasta in, it will just absorb all of that, so it'll be fine. Right, I do want it a little bit creamier than that, so I'm going to put in just a little bit more creme fraiche. There we go, and then at this point you also want to put in some black pepper as well. Right, and then in and stirred it all through. This is why, especially for this recipe, I use whole wheat pasta, because by the time you've stirred it all through and it's sitting in all the juices and all of the pesto, you're not going to taste the difference between whole wheat pasta and white pasta. So get an extra bit of fibre in and pop that in. On top of that, my focaccia is now all done as well. So that's ready. So all you've got to do now is dish it all up and eat it. Bon appetit! Okay, the onions and garlic have now been cooking for about 8 minutes on a really nice low heat while I've been stirring them. And you can see now, I'll move it in here, that they look kind of glossy and soft and almost like see-through. So when a recipe says sweat the onions, this is what it's talking about. Cooking them really low for 5-6 minutes until they're shiny, glossy and a little bit see-through. So what we're going to do now is add the chicken. And now we're just going to carry on stirring that on a again, still on a slow heat, because we don't want the chicken to burn. We just want to get it nice and cooked through. And it needs to cook all the way through, because once you add the pesto to this, and then add the pasta, it's pretty much ready to serve. So the chicken's not going to get time to simmer in any sort of sauce. So the chicken does need to be completely cooked. So carry on cooking the chicken like this for about 8 to 10 minutes until it's completely cooked through. Chicken's halfway through cooking now. I've turned it up to a medium heat to start getting it finished off and to get the chicken all the way through cooked. You'll see and notice there's quite a bit of juice coming out at the moment. That's absolutely fine. That's just the juice from the chicken. And we'll leave that in because that'll give the dish a nice flavour when it finishes off. You'll also notice that my pasta has at no point in time boiled. So all you want to do with pasta is either pop boiling hot water over it to begin with and then just leave it on a very low heat, doing nothing. Or bring it to the boil and then as soon as it hits the boil, turn it right the way back down low again. It doesn't need to boil. By the time this dish, the chicken, is all done, that will be completely cooked. So that is, I've turned it off now because it's all done. That is al dente. And what we mean by al dente is if you pick a piece up and just give it a squeeze, it will still hold its shape and be firm, but it will be soft. And that's what we mean by al dente. So that is now done. We don't want it cooked any more than that, so I'll turn the heat off. And when your chicken's nearly cooked, we'll drain it. But for the moment, it could just sit in the hot water. So my chicken's now at its medium heat. It had about 5 minutes low, and then I've turned it up medium. So I'm going to give that another, because I'm using thighs and not breasts, so thighs take a tiny bit longer to cook. I'm going to leave that for another 4 or 5 minutes just to make sure that chicken is completely cooked before I add the pesto.